Well, hello, girls, gals, and our fellow friends. We're back. Sass is back with loads of class and loads of gas. But
Hello.
but Sylvian are here. Sylvian and I, sorry about that, are here to talk to you today about wellness. We really want to reach out to everybody. Of course, our target audience is probably mothers and, women most likely, but men, if you're interested in something, come on by. We'll entertain it. But yeah, I mean, Sylviane being a naturopath and us, having over 30 years experience raising kids, taking care of disabled children, taking care of family members, just the whole
Caregiving
cluster.
thing.
Yeah, the caregiving, right. And all the pressure that is on moms. It's like, as we talked about, there's so many elements to the wellness thing because you need your sleep, you need your support, you need to have a healthy diet. You hopefully are exercising somewhat to help you with stress.
Yeah, you need to have a outlet somewhere for sure. Like you need, yeah, it's a complex. It's complex, and I think often, like you say, mothers or it could be fathers too, whoever's the main caregiver, like, well, that's what it says. You're taking care of somebody or many people and or kids, and then you forget about yourself, right? It's so easy to forget about yourself because you're go thinking of the other, and
right.
often
And never as much about yourself. Well,
yeah.
What you want to be. You don't want to be like a selfish mother that's just checked out or is not a great caregiver and empathetic and compassionate and devoted and shows you the time and energy that kids need so much. It's not really about money or about, well, obviously money is helpful. We don't stress of finances is one of the worst stresses ever.
True.
But we both are here to help people overcome things that we've really had to struggle overcoming when it comes to just the stress of life, the stress of raising kids, the stress of divorces, step parenting, financial illness, financial issues, everything. So that's what we want to hear from people. We want to hear anybody reach out to us at sasswithclass@gmail.com. Do we have to say 50?
Yes, it's sass with class 50.
Yeah, at gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Right, oh, sister, she's the brains, I'm the brawn, and I'm the one that's the weirdo. Anyway, no, but we do have serious years and expertise, and not only health and nutrition, but how to stay happy, how to stay sexually active, how to deal with the stress of, becoming a new mom. Then you have the years of schooling, which is tough. And then you have the adult problems, which are so much harder, which we get.
Teenagers gonna be growing into young adult, and yeah, having adult children is another ball game for sure. But it's less, it's more emotional and psychological, which is as well, not damaging, but as draining, should I say?
Oh my gosh! When your children are little and they're babies, and then they become toddlers and stuff. Those are the days when you're just exhausted. Like you absolutely, it's all physical, right? I mean, of course, it's emotional too, but kids are a little bit easier to.
What you had, like your kids, what did you do? Like you had Caitlin who has special needs, and then you had like the boys.
4 other kids, yeah.
And
like I basically fucked myself over, didn't I?
They were close in age. What did you do to keep sane? What did you do?
Well, part of it was always exercising. I would always get the kids off to school. Whoever was a baby came with me to exercise. That was kind of my ritual. And we went to bed very early. It was a pretty healthy, organic lifestyle because all of our children were in sports. But your point exactly is like having a profoundly special needs child as your first child. So aside from that being its own bag of goods, right? I mean, everybody that's out there that has a special needs child, it doesn't matter what their level of development or their level of functioning is. It's still such a challenge for families and for siblings. And my best advice, because certainly I went through some really dark, low periods of feeling overwhelmed, feeling so scared, so isolated.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough time, but it's also a time where you learn and you grow and you learn ways of coping. And that's why now we want to do this, because we know between us who grade 5 kids, you know what I mean? We've all been there, or you and I have been there. So now we're like, okay, we went through depressions, we went through illnesses, we went through deaths, we went through divorces, addiction, all these things. So we want to hear from people to tell us or ask us, you know, how did we cope? How did we cope having a special needs child, a profound special needs child? And I didn't always do everything right. Well, no, of course I did. I'm so perfect. Anyway, but
it's not about being perfect. I think it's about
right.
growing with and rolling with the punches. But I mean, I remember you, well, that's how I met you, right? Caitlin was in an after school program. So after her school, she would go there, and that was a nice
heaven
for
heaven.
Because it gave you
that was heaven. I mean, and that's it. That's how I met Sylvia. And she and her ex-husband had an after school program for special needs kids. And her ex-husband worked in schools with special needs kids. So he really had an expertise, and Sylvia had the patience and the compassion and the devotion and everything to help out in any certain way. And at that point, I had 3 kids. Caitlin was very, very ill, just seizures, you know, just everything. So then when we moved to Montreal and I didn't know anyone and it was cold, it was wintertime, it was wonderful when that program was introduced to me, because I had never done that before. And it really saved me, because I needed that time for Mackenzie and Connor. They needed their mom.
They would bus, like Caitlin was bused from her school to that program.
And then you guys would get her right after the program, right? Because it was attached, wasn't it? Was it attached to the school?
No, it was not.
Oh no, they bused her there, didn't they?
They bused her there, so that was good.
Thank you, Canada Bus Department. I'll pay you back someday.
But they bused her there, and then I think it was open till 6, I think, 6 p.m. So it was really like a daycare, after school daycare, basically. And that was really good for all the parents. And that's how we met you. But so that's a good,
good
that's a good wellness thing to do for herself, because instead of saying, oh, I feel guilty that my daughter was gone, like, see, you could have said, oh my gosh, what time did she leave in the morning? Or what time did the bus?
I think I got her on the bus at like 9 or 9:30. And you know me, I had a really hard time putting her in that school, right? Do you remember that? I was a maniac. I had never, well, first of all, Caitlin in the States was in a program that was, it was an inclusive program. It wasn't as if she was in a typically developing classroom, but it wasn't like almost like an institution. Like that school was very much, to me on the outside, it looked like an institution. It was almost like a nut house, wasn't it? I mean,
well, because it was right next to the institution, first of all, right? I worked there, so I know.
Oh, right.
But I mean,
and the amount of kids, like there were so many adults, like, I mean, I'm talking serious, like headbangers, and it was tough. It was really tough because Caitlin was so small for her age. I know. I mean, she was like 5.5, but she probably looked like she was 3, right? Or even younger. She was so tiny.
Yeah, she was.
And so it was a little bit difficult. Tons of males in the profession of special ed kids, which was also very difficult for me, because Caitlin couldn't walk or talk, I needed to be her advocate and make sure she was always, always safe, right? So I fought to have her go to the regular school in Montreal initially, and it was a disaster. It was such a disaster because I kept trying to petition to have her go to the regular developing school because I felt like that was creepy and there might be pedophiles and Caitlin can't tell me anything. And so I failed tremendously at the public school there. Thank goodness, the teacher ended up calling me. We talked privately. I said, listen, I know you can't tell me much, so let's go out to dinner. So we went out to dinner. I bought a couple bottles of wine and we chit-chatted, and she was so cool. She said, listen, Caitlin, I mean, she's not going to get her needs met in our school. Like, there's just no way. I mean, it was the teacher and a full, like, 28 classroom of regular developing kids with all their needs, right? So eventually I had to cave in and accept to put her in that school. But it ended up to be a beautiful and wonderful program. And that's a good topic that you were just saying, Sylvia. And this is why, you know, when we reach out to people saying, you know, write to us, if it will eventually get where people can call us too. But we have a lot of answers or a lot of remedies, I'd say, for all of the, like, to be able to stay married in this world with financial issues and the internet and all the different things that are out there that make people stray from their marriages, you know, it's a harder time anyway. And then when you add any special needs or any health issues, it's a lot harder. But you have to release yourself. You've got to release yourself from the guilt and say, if I can't take care of everybody and mom is not in good shape, good health, good energy, well, then no one's going to be, right?
It's really, yeah, it's for sure. You know what? Did you ever give yourself a massage? I learned this last week, like just a massage, like, you know, like a masseuse would be massaging you. Did you ever do that?
Right.
Like,
I massage myself, but not in those areas. Of course I massage myself. You'll have to teach me that technique when I'm with you. That's my topic, baby.
Okay.
We'll talk about that.
Not where I was going, but you know, that's another way. I mean, to each his own, but it goes a long way. It goes a long way to massage yourself. You would be surprised how self-soothing, because, you know, to get a massage here in Canada, like it's $150, $180. I mean, and
it's free to massage yourself, baby. You just go right down there, lube yourself up, and it's free and it feels good and it's empowering and it makes you sleep better. What else can I say? You don't need a man. You just need your fingers, girl. Get them out. Learn how to use them properly. Because all of us in the sexual relationships we've been in, you know, often we're not honest about like if our needs are being met or not. Maybe more so now though, because women are a lot more educated and knowledgeable, right?
And empowered. I think it has to do with a generational openness, and also maybe, I don't know, for here anyway, the religion, you know, had a more of an impact.
Absolutely. I mean, we were both raised very strictly Catholic. I mean, I didn't even know anything but missionary. I didn't know that people use dildos and all that sort of stuff, you know. I mean, I had to learn, I had to teach myself a few things, baby. But, you know, so we weren't open-minded about it because that's not how we were raised.
But even to get, like, if we say, oh, I'm going for a massage, sometimes like the other, like some other people from the older generations would say, oh, I'm never
you're gonna let a man touch your body or another woman touch your husband.
It was not a therapy. So now all those therapies, I mean, there's energy therapy, there's water therapy, there's even salt therapy, you know, like when
I know salt's wonderful. Yeah.
That's amazing. You go sit and you're in the walls of salt, Himalayan salt, or floating therapy. I mean, hydrotherapy.
I really want to do that floating therapy, that sensory deprivation one where you're like in a tank. Because I've heard for anybody with PTSD or with just issues, it's literally freeing and life-changing. I definitely want to do that someday, but I'm so claustrophobic. I'm afraid, but I'm going to do it. I am going to do
you're
it.
in a, I don't know about that one.
Oh, you'll have to look it up. I'll tell you about it. It's a like a sensory integration tank where you are in there. It's all dark. You're in salt water. You typically have headphones on, and I don't know if you might have your eyes blindfolded or something, or maybe it's just that it's dark. Yeah, it's pitch black. You're inside a fucking tank. I mean, how much scarier? All I could think about was like, okay, I'm in that tank, and how do I trust someone's going to get me out? You know what I mean? Or what if I like have a heart attack or an anxiety? I mean, but I take a hot Epsom bath a lot. I take a hot Epsom bath quite a few times a week. And not only does it soothe you for your muscles and your aches and pains, and the steam helps you like just unclog your pores and your nose if you have allergies like me.
But that's Epsom, you know, the Epsom salt has magnesium in it.
Yep.
And that in your body, we're all depleted in magnesium, because magnesium is used for so many chemical reactions in your body. From, I think it's close to 180 reactions.
Wow.
So
you know what? I believe it. I believe in it so much, because, and this is what we were talking about, like being good to yourself and making sure that you're getting cared for too, like just going and taking a bath when all the kids are asleep or they're napping, or, you know, making sure you're meeting a friend for coffee or going for walks, or just making sure that, you know, even if you're just a mother of regular developing kids, it's enough just trying to keep care of a house, raise your children, balance the budget, the health meals, all that stuff, healthy meals, like the food choices, and also keeping energy, you know, like for if you have to work full time. And there's so many different things, like the whole masturbating thing I was just saying. I mean, I know it sounds really gross and kind of crass, but it's true. If you have a good orgasm, man, you're gonna be happy. You're gonna be feeling better. You're gonna forgive a lot of bad behavior. Or not bad.
It's a hormone release, right? It's all about hormones. Absolutely. And we need, I mean, sometimes you need to go down for a nap if your baby was up all night, you know. You need to, like, a lot of women I know, they're like, oh no, I can't nap, no, like it's I know,
like it's a bad thing, like you're a bad parent, or like you're lazy. If you need to nap, give yourself a nap.
That's it.
That's the thing about raising kids. Just like we say, you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. It's so true, right? No, it's so true though. Because like you get judged so much. You're wanting to be a good mother. You want to be a good wife. You want to be a good homemaker. And then you feel judged by every side, from people that nurse versus people that don't nurse, from all different types of stuff. And we're just kind of trying to say to you moms, new or older or empty nesters, that we get it. We're here. We really get it. And, you know, if anybody would want to talk to us about any sort of solution, because I'm telling you, those baths were huge for me. And like you said about massages, give yourself breaks. Don't feel as if you're doing something wrong when you're taking good care of yourself, as long as it's proportional, right? Would you say that, Sylvia?
Yeah, it's that you mean, you know, drinking water all day and going for a walk, a little walk every day, even though in the winter, the ones that live in the northern hemisphere like us, like, you know, the winter time.
So bundle up and go outside, freeze your balls off for a couple of whatever, get some fresh air. It gives you the vitamin D. I mean, it really does change your perspective if you literally just walk outside, just like smiling, right? They say that, like, if you smile, because I'll start off my day sometimes like, oh, what am I doing? Oh. And then I have my coffee, my lovely coffee from Sylvia Nutrition that I love.
Authentic coffee.
I know. Authentic. It's very authentic. But yeah, I mean, you have to realize that you are supported, you are loved, you are cared
Yeah.
about. And it's important for moms to know that. Like that book, the first book I got when I was expecting Caitlin was What to Expect When You're Expecting.
Yes.
You read it too, right? Did I give
Yes.
it to you? I think I gave it to you.
Yes, you
Or
gave
maybe
it
you
to
already,
me.
I think I gave it to you. Was that not one of the best pieces of advice ever
That was
in there?
really, really good. So
The
that's
one
great.
quote I always remember, mother the mother. Husbands, what can you do? Mother the mother.
Yeah.
See, what happens a lot is that the husbands take a back seat, which is natural, because what are they going to do if they don't have a boob, right? If they
Yeah.
don't have a teat and a milk coming out of them somewhere, well, you know, moms are going to be the most involved.
Of course, but dads could do a lot too, and I think that's
Absolutely.
I see that a lot of dads are trying, but you know, everybody's trying
Yeah.
their best, and I think, but self-care is definitely one good thing. So go outside and
Walk your butts off. Okay. So guys, it's Wednesdays, 10 a.m. That's our podcast, Sass with Class. Make sure you highlight the sass as all upper cases. 10 a.m. Wednesday morning. And if you want to reach out to us and ask any questions, we are at sasswithclass50@gmail.com. Yep, 50, 50, 50 girls.
I made a mistake here, so sorry for the ones that are watching.
Oh, no worries.
Have a good week.
Tune in to us on Wednesdays, please, and reach out because we have so much that we want to tell you and make you laugh.
Ciao,
You gotta
ciao.